Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast. With me Matt. We're now on the semi-finals of the June tournament. So this is going to be the first game of the semi-finals. There's going to be 2 semi-final games. And after that we'll go on to do 2 finale games. And then I believe there's also a 1v1 finale. Anyway, let's go for the players. Represent the Axis in game 1. We have Alucard, without a commander choice yet for the Waffen-Assist. And Muru, also the Waffen-Assist without a commander choice. Represent the Allies today. We have Electric Lizard as Rifle Company for the United States of America, and Mist Moon as the British Commonwealth of Royal Mechanized Regiment straight out the gate. This should be fascinating to see. We don't get to see the British that often. Company is quickly digging in out there. They'll soon encounter these Royal Guard Sappers. Or Guards Armored Sappers to be more specific. TV also the rifle section come up with a Bren gun, which is a thing where the first rifle section you get has a Bren gun, which is pretty useful. Helps them have a little bit more of a firepower edge early on because they needed it because of the lack of an extra man, I think. So having a Bren gun on the first rifle section you get for free is pretty useful. And we'll just have lots of blue and gray coming out here for Electric Lizard, the cheaper rifle variant if you're playing as Rifle Company. Looks like Alucard has gone for propaganda tactics because I recognize the Totenkopf symbol, the 3rd SS, and looks like Muro has gone for 1st SS because I can recognize the key. And those versions are not gonna get far. Actually, they managed to get behind the cover. But these blue and gray need to form up and attack quickly because these. Oh, we do have a pineapple grenade being tossed. Did not do a lot of work, but. There's one holding now, but yeah, these blue and gray are quickly rushing forwards. Need to get there quick. They are easier to hit though because they're low quality infantry. But M1 Garands, oh my god! Once those M1 Garands started ripping, holy shit! Like that's a lot of M1 Garand fire. Despite being low-quality infantry, they do have semi-automatic rifles, all of them, which gives them a lot of firepower if they can get close enough. But even if they're not accurate, just find that amount of bullets will end up hitting something or someone. The Brits have not really pushed on this side though, but they are supplementing the Americans at the moment. Universal Carriers being a good little support vehicle in the center. Bring on arm, the rifle section moving up, but they're being cut to pieces by the accurate fire of the Sturm Grenadier. Yeah, not gonna make it. Oh, looks like he might. Never mind. Lucky. And the blue and gray moving up. We have some Folksturm called in here to try and dig some fortifications. MT-34 arriving here early for the first SS. Gonna quickly rip into the blue and gray here, immediately suppressing them. Because blue and gray are low quality infantry, they get suppressed really fast. It has allowed the Allies the control of this northern flank. We have a 30 caliber arriving here for the United States and a Vickers machine gun for the British. Need to see how that turns out for them. Also some more Royal Guard Sappers being called in. First SS is preparing to push up again. Blue and gray are trying to hold their ground, but I don't think they're going to be the best at holding it. Especially now when the machine gun's sitting up. And the Kugelwagens. They spotted the 30 caliber trying to get into position though. Trying to shoot it down with MP40s, but they managed to get through. Blue and gray got pinned up pretty quick. 30 caliber quickly sitting up. Now the Germans realize they cannot really advance for that direction because the 30 caliber is covering it. 30 caliber can also get good shots on the MG team there. That's gonna force the MG off. The British are doing a little bit of an assault over here with the Universal Carrier now with the Vickers K on top, giving them a lot more firepower. Basically same rate of fire as the MG42. As you can see, immediately suppressing, but we do have a Panzerjäger here. The Panzer Brigade should be able to pierce straight through the Universal Carrier. Yep, there they go. Not doing that much damage this time. Just doing some ability damage to the tracks. It's being tossed. Well, the Americans pushing up here with a Jeep. More blue and grey ready to make sacrifices for the Allied cause. Very aggressive play from all the players, but then again, we are in the semi-finals. People are really playing very hard now, right now. Americans are able to secure this point again. The Germans are somewhat on the back foot, but they've not lost a lot of units yet. Only the first assisted, but they're recovering. But the Totenkopf are still basically very healthy with their unit count, so they should be able to hold the line. They just need to hold until they can get heavier weapons, and they do control 2 victory points. So they are technically winning. For Hitler Youth being called onto the field here for the first assist. And mechanized headquarters being set up first instead of infantry. Looks like we might go for some early light vehicles here for the first assist. Not a bad choice, all things considering. I don't think the blue and grey are prepared for light vehicles. Especially if they arrive very soon. Like a Puma or a Lux would probably just chew straight through the blue and grey's defense. They do have a 50 caliber here, so they could actually deal with a Puma potentially. Hitler Youth for trying to push up here. They do force the blue and grey off for the most part. Just leaving the support teams behind. Totenkopf has assaulted the British positions. They're doing a pretty good job of it. With some Volkssturm as a distraction here. But the British troops are pretty damn good at their job when they're holding ground. Still, there's a lack of number of them, so they are suffering in that department. I don't think this University Care is going to get out of that. Oh wait, it could. Dropping another smoke grenade. Looks like it will. Oh, the Kugelbahn can capture ground. No, it could do that. I don't know where that's from. Is that from an upgrade for this? Could be, or because they're Panzer. Regardless, though, the 50 caliber shoots straight through it. As a 50 caliber should. While Totenkopf continue to push up here. A smoke barrage called in by the Untersturmführer, who's overseeing the front line. And Volkssturm are just holding on most of the other flanks. They don't need a good use of them because they're very cheap. You even have an MG08 here manned by some Volkssturm in an ambush position. Like, Volkssturm are really cheap units you can just show up your defense with if you're playing as this propaganda. It's surprisingly useful. There's lots of MG08s from the First World War being pulled up. I'm not sure how many Volkssturm they could find that actually had experience using the MG08 from the First World War. Who knows? Of course, there would still be a large population in Germany after all, of veterans from the First War. That's a Gewaltladung, I think. Yep. That's gonna allow the Panzerjägers to get back. Sturmgrenadiers making a move up here now with the smoke cover. But University Carrier could be in the way. But the rifle section has to pull back. Americans on the engagement with the Hitler Youth over here. Hitler Youth has been forced back. And the MG34 is definitely doing its job, just keeping the blue and grey on their toes. Oh, well, not really on their toes. On their knees, rather. And elbows. Knees and elbows. We do have an ambulance being rushed to the front line for the United States to help keep their troops recuperated. And with the latest in medical science, like penicillin. Because K is having a fight here with the MG08. MG08 is not the best at suppressing, though, as you can see, because of its fairly low rate of fire. Just hitting the front of this university carrier, not doing much. Somehow not hitting the people that's very clearly exposed. Your command F1 arriving here for the Panzer Division, which the United States is not prepared for. And they do have a 57mm, but they need to push in the right position. British infantry now have the extra man, so they're going to be a lot more valuable in combat now. Meanwhile, there's a big assault here from the Waffen SS for the points. Throwing toss grenades into the smoke. Mills bombs get tossed back. And that squad's going to get mowed down as the smoke clears. Even if they have heavy cover, that's a lot of rifles pointing at them. But it looks like the Vickers can, and the Vickers can actually cover them enough. Oh, so the British do hold on. Very nice. Meanwhile, the Germans keep advancing up here. Hitler Youth moving alongside the command tank. They're pushing into the farm now. The Americans still have their 57, but it's not pointed at the right spot. Mostly because they're side blockers. Here comes the F1. Good penetration there, injuring the loader. They do a recoilless rifle under the echelon, but it's not going to be enough. I think the Americans are going to be surrounded here. Or at least stuck behind enemy lines for a bit. Best with the F1 just remaining around, calling in an artillery strike now. The 50 caliber cannot do anything to an F1. Artillery probably being called in right here on the AT gun. Smoke popped by the command tank. But the Brits now moving in. Indeed, artillery is going to be arriving here. I don't think that AT gun is going to hold. Indeed not. Finally, the crew survived with 2 men. Because 5 times to get a head shot off. No lock didn't penetrate. And then we have an incendiary grenade here, probably on the machine gun. Yep. That's getting destroyed by a AT grenade from the British. Looks like the Allies do hold this position barely because of it. But now the British are going to get cut down in their fallback plan here. As a Totenkopf are moving up the road. There's going to be a 30 caliber too, I imagine. Yep. And his 50 caliber is now going to be bombarded from a barrage here from the Untersturmführer. They barely survive thanks to being pinned. Hitting does actually, I believe, give you some damage protection for a short bit. Because you get very low to the ground. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm not an expert on being under artillery strikes, so I imagine it's not nice. It's just quite horrible. Like most things in war. The Germans are preparing for another push into the farm. More blue and gray being called up. Also some actual riflemen now from the big red one. 50 caliber is able to keep the Germans suppressed. More being called here now by another Untersturmführer. Being flanked by the Brits. The artillery going in on the ambulance. Also an anti-tank rifle grenade on the ambulance there from the Totenkopf, from the first assist, I mean. Ambulance gets cleared out. So the first assist is now fully in the advance, even setting up a machine gun behind them, an MG42. Still some side blockers though. That blue and gray squad is going to be in for a surprise. Yep. You can really see how lethal the MG42 is. Brits are trying to advance. They even have some King's Own Yorkshire infantry inside this universal carrier rushing forwards. Do some SS Panzerjägers. Quickly jumping out here. Mowing down the MPO-8 team. One flash being tossed here by the Foxstorm. But the King's Own Yorkshire is doing a pretty good job. Mobility loss on the universal carrier though. I don't think the King's Own can hold for long here. Indeed, very accurate assault. They have to be forced off. Is he actually going to survive? Wow, impressive. King's Own Yorkshire light infantry actually got out of there. But the Allies do feel like they might be a little bit on the back foot here. Germans still have a pretty good defense thanks to the Volkssturm showing it up. Even if the numbers need to hold the front line. And the MP42 is just gonna pin down everything on this end. We have an A2 Sherman arriving for the United States. Bulldozer blade being upgraded to give it some more frontal armor and the ability to create cover, actually. And also clear out some anti-tank obstacles, I believe. We have a Sherman 76 coming out here for the British. I think if you're playing as mechanized, you can get a lot of American equipment when it comes to armor. Yeah, like there's the Sherman 76 now in British hands. Looks like the Germans have captured the Universal Carrier. But gets destroyed by an anti-tank rifle grenades. There's a lack of cover out here though, so these rifle sections might be in trouble. Especially once that MG08 sets up. They do decapture the point at least, but that's not really gonna help them much. Goes an American lieutenant to keep an eye on the front line. Standing next to a blown out Jeep, probably talking to his men if they can repair this thing. Haul it back home to Texas assembling after the war. Who knows? Flamethrowers are being handed out to the blue and grey. Okay, they're being turned into assault infantry. The Brits are sending a lot of their units over this way to support the Americans. They're prepared to do a big push by the looks of it. That could open up the other flank to the Waffen-SS, but they don't know that. But the Brits are prepared to push up with the Sherman for support. 24-2 ripping up. Taking out the Vickers machine gun team immediately. Sherman's pushing forwards. And the blue and grey almost managed to get on the flank here. Grenades are being tossed. Lots of smoke going in. The Germans can make a safe retreat here. And they're definitely doing it. Or somewhat safe retreat. The Allies are just going to keep pushing by the looks of it. Panzerjägers are getting into position. The Totenkopf also moving their elite troops over while the Volkssturm holds the front line. That's actually a good way of doing it. The Badeladno. Another Sherman arriving here for the United States, but gets hit by a Panzerschreck. Could get Panzerfausted now. Oh, that was a Stuka! Ulsufür called in the Stuka strike! I have not seen that in fucking ages! And even Electric Blizzard is surprised, I think, because we barely see the Stuka. That was cool. Backcast it up though, and the Shermans keep advancing. Panzerfaust almost goes off. But the Allies need to push up further. They need some more units. Rifle section is also again moving to the front line. But an MG08 is covering the road here. Laying down suppressive fire down range. Let's see, what else are they getting? Raiders have gone for full tech up, I think. G's arriving on the battlefield soon for one of the Waffen-SS players. Truck arriving here for the Panzerdivision. Machine guns are preventing this lieutenant from pushing up. He might not make it. Looks like he does. The MG08 is not that good at aiming. Probably because the gun is very old and needs a new glasses. His current ones are cracked. Ambulance has been refitted. He has to repair the engine on that thing. They are working on now thanks to the truck. Giving them all the spare parts they need. Blitz now arriving here for the first SS. Also casually destroying a little bit of a hut. Oh, they're scavenging with it. Oh, that makes sense. Putting coffins preparing to push for the center here. But allied Shermans could prevent that. At least the allies have denied the fuel point for now, but at least that's all. That's the most important part, I think. It's prevented the Germans from getting just as much fuel as they are. And so Germans are getting more fuel still. Probably because they have logistics upgrades. Germans 76 preparing to push up again for some support. That Vickers is not going to do well out there in the open. Just quickly being targeted down here by the veteran grenadiers of the Mthis. They also have some good cover behind this little wreck of a Stuka somehow. They need these Shermans though to provide supporting fire with their 50 calibers. And 30 calibers for that matter. Because the rifle sections cannot win these firefights when these Storm Grenadiers are so veteran and have a designated marksman with them. President's trying to push over here. Americans are not prepared to hold it yet. Especially now with an MG42 moving up to support and laser suppressive fire. Tossing a smoke grenade there to allow the Sherman to push up. British pushing up again. Fancy is moving into position though. Misses. Barely. Stock holding up here in the center. And you can just see the MG42 shred the blue and gray whenever they get in range. Until it needs to be in position where you can support. Oh, pack guns against the shots into the Sherman. That's gonna allow the Storm Pioneers to start pushing. Smoke grenade being popped to cover them. They can use the regular Sherman for cover. That's a pineapple though. But the Sherman wreck provides good enough cover. Another Sherman showing up. We do have a Panther tank coming out for the Panzerdivision, which will certainly allow the Germans to have the tank advantage. Panzerwerfer coming out for the propaganda tactics. British Shermans are not really having a lot of use at the moment, I think. They are being repaired at the moment. But the British infantry is not having a lot of luck in their advancements. And the fuel point is now in German hands. They also clear out some side blockers, very smart. So they've been calling here by the Untersturmführer. By this being another Stuka. Ballladung. That's just normal artillery, I think. Yeah, just artillery, not a Stuka. See, we also have the Brits trying to push up here, but getting stopped by another Gabaldaladung. Totenkopf Grenadiers now moving up to try and stop further advancements, but this German is going to move to intercept. Now in the open, the Germans do not have a lot of cover. Panzerwerfer opening fire, probably around the Sherman. Ooh, no rockets hit straight in the Sherman though, so it's safe. More Stikan Granate being tossed. That was another Gebadeladung. The Shermans need to start acting soon because there's a panther on the front line, and the Sherman's not gonna have a good time dealing with this. Taking out an ambulance as its first kill. Now the Allies know there's a panther. It's not gonna be fun. But the British are starting to advance now with the Sherman. Volksturm trying to get on the flank over Panzerfausting. The Sherman just driving forwards. This is suicide. No Panzerfausts? Do they not have Panzerfausts? Did the Germans not have Panzerfaust prepared? Wow. Or perhaps they didn't have the munitions. Oh, that's fortunate for the British Germans if that was the case. Stuck is being hit there by the Sherman 76s. One penetration and one on the Shermans. One Sherman now. Look down now. And well, the Panther slowly pushing up here. The Shermans cannot fight it. Sherman 75s just cannot penetrate the front of this thing. The best hope is the 3-inch gun is lucky. Because the frontal arm of the Panther is higher than the frontal arm. Oh, they actually penetrated. It's the high, no, the frontal arm of a Tiger. Sherman's going for it. Not a wise move. Then Panzerfaust to finish it off. And with that, the Allies have lost a lot of units and a lot of ground. Not looking good for the Allies here, folks. But that Panther does need repairs. And does take a while to repair German tanks compared to Allied tanks, I believe. But the front line being held is still holding on, and we also have a Tiger Ace arriving. Unique to Propaganda Ace. Oh, I need to Tiger Ace arriving. And unique to the Propaganda Tactics is what I mean. I have bumbling words all the time today. Ooh, Recoil Strike hit the Obolvitzia trying to scavenge the Sherman. Panzerwerfer opening fire. See, no rocket hits the Sherman, but the Tiger Ace can finish off that Sherman in one shot. Looking for manual aim. Oh, doesn't penetrate. That's rare. Misses. So the Tiger Ace is being a little bit cautious today. Maybe the Germans are holding all the points over here. Now just need to capture the middle victory point. And the Allies really are on the back foot. You have another Tiger tank coming in for the first assist. Americans are just forming up troops here. I'm not really sure that's a good idea, but they don't really have any other places to be. Oh, there's an MG42 with a scope in here too. It's gonna make attacking that a lot more difficult. But the King is on York. Oh god! They're trying to take the point, but they got destroyed by a high explosive incendiary round from the Tiger Ace. Completely vaporized them. Looks like the Tiger Ace is slowly on the advance alongside the Untersturmführer, alongside the Sturmgrenadiers. Just taking it slow. Maybe the first assist is securing ground here, but being shut up by all these rifles. That is a lot of rifles just lined up. But the Germans are winning this, I reckon. It's going very fast in their favor. Tiger Ace is slowly creeping up. Needs to keep its infantry within supporting range. So it's just rushing forwards. It looks like it will work this time, but you always want to have your infantry in supporting range of your tanks. Because the tanks do not have a lot of vision on their own. Of course, the Tiger is an exception in this. It always has good vision even on its own. But still, you want to have infantry to support it. And for pushing up here. But penetrated by the 3-inch. No problem on the path to pull back. More Shermans are arriving bit by bit. Right, they're trying to push up here, but it's only blue and gray, so they can get cut down pretty quick. Not a high explosives incendiary from the Tigers. You also have an Ostwind coming out. Oh, full on 17-pounder and a Firefly out. Now that is a threat to even the Tigers. The thing is though, they almost don't need to advance anymore. They just need to hold the line. They have all the victory points. But the Tigers are gonna advance. There's several Tigers now supporting each other. One Sherman down. Need to watch for the Firefly though. Like that, that's a little penetration. £17. Oh, high explosive incendiary kills them. But a 17-pounder is getting some pretty good penetration from on those Tigers. Ostwind's down, advancing over here because there was only one machine gun holding the ground. Now the job is just full on assaulting. Also an Ostwind from the first assist just to clear out all the infantry. No penetration this time from the Firefly. Just be very cautious. One shot from the Tiger and that would be basically be it, gone. Now that the German armor is here at large, it's just breaking through everything. I don't feel this 17-pounder is working as intended. Another ambulance down. Yeah, the Allies could easily surrender at this point, but it looks like they're just staking into it for now. We can speed up time, I reckon. Keep an eye on the Firefly, though. The Americans are just getting anti-tank teams. And they're just making time wasted at this point. German Panthers are forming up, and then they are going to assault the American base. Asugas did hit the Tiger there, and also the Ostwind. But the Germans are slowly just creeping up on all the flanks. Like at this point, the Allies should just surrender, to be honest. This is a hopeless situation. Here comes the first infantry now trying to push in. Yeah, don't end siege. Kinda agree there. At this point, it's kinda over. Yeah, and now they surrender. Well, that was the first game of the semi-finals for the June tournament. I'll see you all in game 2 of the tournament. Bye bye.